If you had any recommendation on how to best use eprinumectin, exactly what you said, in order to maintain the efficacy of this macrocyclic lactone as long as possible, what would be your top advices?
So the way we look at it is we have, in some situations, in most situations, we cannot not use anthelmintics. But when we use them, we have to know why we're treating. So evaluate the risk by doing composite fecal egg counts, know if your treatment is efficient, and if we estimate that we can selectively treat, and in most cases, if we are early enough, we can selectively treat, then we should do it using our protocol, for example, or adapting depending on the risk level that is present in the farm. However, using anthelmintics is not the only solution. There are other ways, other leverages we need to use to decrease the parasitic risk that a flock is exposed to. So that would be by increasing animal resistance, and it would be also by managing the level of exposure of animals to parasite larvae in the field. So it would be a lot of pasture management.
The big reflection we have today, not just recently, but for a few years already, is to think with farmers about grazing. It's true that at AVEM we have an agronomist, so we also try to have joint agro-vet advice, and I think that's really key. For the future, I think we really need to rely on both skill sets to be able to rethink and reflect with the farmer about his crop rotation and the types of pastures he uses, that he implements, with the slightly more delicate management of natural grasslands, and then work on catch crops, on types of rotation, on types of plots, the earliness of the plots, and how we alternate mowing and grazing accordingly. We come back to the climate issue, which here is sometimes a bit unpredictable and which can compromise good grazing management.
Absolutely.
If we don't manage grazing well, even if we use more alternative, more reasonable methods, resistance can still occur, and we've seen it.
In your parasite management on your ewes, would you like to have some additional tools, whether for diagnosis or for actual parasite management?
Well, for us, we've been saying for a long time at the breeding centre, and in our region it's being done. It would be to genetically select for resistance to strongyles. It was done in the Pyrenees region for meat licorne, but not yet in dairy licorne. Now, it's included in the selection criteria. They are currently working on it. They're testing families that are more or less resistant to strongyles. In terms of selection for licorne, it's starting now. We'll see the effects in 3 to 5 years. That's already a good point. Since we're still limited in the molecule we use, having a faster test in the farm, saying we do the fecal egg counts but we get an immediate result, that would be great. And we wouldn't necessarily need to send it to the lab to get the results, or, I don't know, send the away. Someone who tells us, hey, this one needs to be treated, that one doesn't need to be treated, that would be something, kind of utopic. But still, I think with good observation skills, and by continuing to implement what we've already put in place, plus genetics, we'll be able to manage this issue on our farm.